Aloha, everybody. Maybe I should say Taloha because I am actually now not on a beach. I am actually now in Lake Tahoe, where it's beautiful, snowing. And yes, I see you out there, Yolanda. Thank you. As always, I appreciate your showing up for you. Yes. And you joined. So I want to invite her as a collaborator. Let me get her in here. Welcome,
Hi,
Adora. I'm happy to have you
Sean.
live
Good to
again
see
with me.
you.
Yeah, you too. Let me turn my volume up now that I can actually hear you. Uh,
Yay.
oh my gosh, I'm
Hi,
so grateful.
everybody.
Yeah, it's just Willow, welcome. Get everybody here. Happy holidays, Priyanka. Oh my gosh, so good to see you out there. Kelly, yes, welcome. Merry Christmas. You're ready for more?
Merry Christmas. I love
Who's
it.
ready to create more next year? More of what
More,
you
better,
want.
greater.
Yes, I see it. I love it. Oh, Big Island. That's where you're at. That's where I used to live on the Big Island, which is one of the most spiritual places I've been. But as Adora will tell you, I think we have some more places coming up even in the new year. So I can't wait to share those retreats that are coming up. So
Yes.
again, so happy, Jay. Thank you so much. Um, as many of you know, just let me just kind of recap everybody because we have a sacred relationship retreat coming up January 28th out in Southern California, just outside of Malibu in Agora Hills at this beautiful location. We will be sharing that with you in the coming days. So you get a sense of like, where am I going? Where can I stay when I'm there? So we're excited to give you all the details. Of course, if you want to know more, we will have the link here, but you can go to thesoulinstitute.co. Don't go now because we're going to share a little bit more with you. But really check out if you want to learn more. And you can create also a discovery call with Adora if you want to learn more about her and what she's bringing to the table, because she'll be doing workshops. I'll be doing workshops. We'll be talking and we'll be listening as well. There you go. She put it in the chat there, thesoulinstitute.co. And you can learn more about not just this retreat. Well, we don't have the upcoming retreats. We're in the planning stages of that. So we'll get more to that as we move forward. But what I want to do, because last time, Adora, I was kind of asking you questions. I'm going to kind of give you the mic here, if you will.
I
And
know.
it's open season on me. If you, you're welcome to ask me anything and everything. And certainly anybody out there, if you have questions, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
So we can give you clarity, or you may have a question about relationships or a relationship with yourself. So again, thank you for being here, Dora.
Well, Sean, it's such a delight, and I feel so joyful about the co-creation of this beautiful program for not only this event that we're having in January in Malibu, the event that we'll have after that, probably in Malibu, maybe somewhere else, and the future retreats that we're going to have in some beautiful, incredibly natural surroundings around the world. But one thing I want to dive more deeply into, and I'm sure all of our listeners today, all of you that are joining us right now, welcome. We're delighted to have you. And those of you that might come and join in listening after this is on YouTube and being shared on some other platforms. I want everyone to get to know you the way that I know you, which is as this incredible inspiration to all of your clients. But more than that, you're such a bright light and you bring so much positivity and humility and beautiful teachings that the world needs right now as we are not only moving through adversity, but as we're evolving and coming into accessing our true potential and our authentic self. So I would love to hear more about your story. Do you want to share how you started in this field of coaching and service?
Absolutely. I absolutely would love to share that journey because it has been a journey, an adventure of exhilarating highs and heartbreaking lows. And it has ultimately been a very humbling journey for me. As many people may know, I have been in the entertainment business for probably 35 years. Somebody goes, well, how many movies and TV shows have you done? Someone asked me the other night.
Wow.
And I go, I like 50 something. And they go, no, let me look. And it was like over 75 films and television shows. Like, I didn't know, because it's just been that kind of wild journey. But it has always revolved around using my own creativity to realize my deepest dreams, my greatest goals, my valued vision, which I, in many aspects, have gotten off my values and my vision. And that's where I got tied up and just hit the wall, of course. So, and that's the prelude even to coaching, was that very experience. And I've shared it with many people. I'll give you the brief, cliff notes here. But it was a 1, 2, 3 punch in my life. And it started with losing my father, who was my rock, my everything, taught me tenacity, perseverance, hard work, a sense of humor, fearlessness, faith, and family love and loyalty. Like I've never seen, he was that guy for me. And when I lost him, I felt like I lost those values. And so, which isn't true, but I didn't know that in the time. So, and then of course, at that point I was going through a divorce, and I felt the shame and the guilt of not being able to keep a family together. I'm like, and I'm a creative. I'm like, well, why can't I create this happy, loving family? I didn't have the tools. And that's part of what we'll be sharing at the Sacred Relationship Retreat, is how do you keep that together? And then ultimately, I lost a job that I loved, which my sense of self-worth went out the door with it, because I found value in my job, of course, which is great. But my self-worth was attached to that when everybody said, no, I don't want you. I don't want to hire you. I don't need you. You hear it all. I mean, it's literally what you hear, because I don't sell widgets. I'm selling myself, right? And
yes.
People still literally go, I don't want you, but they love you. They love your work. They're complimentary, not hateful. But it's just very clear. So I had to come to terms with that. And I just didn't have the skill set or the tools to do it. And of course, I couldn't take care of my family, which of course goes back to my initial value that my parents taught me, is you do everything you can to take care of your family and your relationships.
Yeah.
And so I had gotten to this a dark place, and I had to come out. I had to get out. So I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? How? And so I spent a lot of reflection time. I built a tree house in my backyard, which was great. Let me be clear. I designed it. I didn't build it. But I designed it, and I had a gentleman build it. But it was this Balinese sort of tree house with a ladder, and you went up, it's a thatched roof. And I'd go up there every morning at 5 a.m. It was still dark. I would meditate and really have a relationship. I started to build a relationship with myself, which is what we'll be talking about at the retreat. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. No wonder I couldn't keep a relationship together, because I couldn't even keep my own relationship with me together. Didn't have the tools. I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the, as we coach now, mindset.
Yes.
And so I was doing this, and strangely enough, nobody would have known. I was able to go to a dinner party. I could go to work. I could anywhere. I didn't have to work, but if I had to audition, and this is what kind of got me out of it, is to go, okay, again, I went to this audition. I had to be a multi-billionaire. He had charisma, charm, wit, sense of humor, style, had it all. And I'm like, and I'm literally crying, weeping on the floor of my studio apartment in Hollywood and Vine, going, how am I going to create this character when I feel none of it? None of it. And many of you out there are probably in that, I don't know if you're in that dark space, but you're like, how am I going to transform my life? How am I going to get out of here? And everybody, so I'm going through that. I had to create this character. I go to producers. I sit in front of there, and I just transformed my life. I built that character, of course, in less than 24 hours. I go the next day, sit in front of this woman and the producers, and I'm like, boom, thank you. Appreciate it. Anything else you'd like to see? Anything different? No, thank you. I didn't worry about whether they liked me or cared if they liked me. I set my own high standard and said, am I satisfied with that? Because I've been having this conversation with myself, I now know how to talk to myself rather than beat myself up.
Yes.
Right? And go, wait, I felt really good about it. I could have done that. Great. How can I evolve, to use your word that you mentioned earlier about how do we evolve in this life? And I'm like, yeah, I could evolve. I could do that better. Cool. And then I moved on. I took that as a beautiful, no mistakes. Nothing's wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, great. I would have maybe done this better. But it's such a creative world You ultimately go with your instinct and your intuition. You deliver.
So many permutations.
Exactly. So needless to say, I was like, and then I had to go back to my crying self. My life's upside down. I can't take care of my family. I destroyed a family. I don't have my rock. My mom's an amazing human being. But just a different energy. She has like unshakable faith. And I was losing that. But anyway, so the coaching journey, people are asking like, how are you so resilient? How do you get through all of the rejection and the disappointment and the heartbreak? And for over 6 years, nobody, maybe an independent film here or there, nobody wanted to hire me. So how do you do it? And like, I'm not a fake it till you make it. I'm like, you earn it, because that's sustainable. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. I see your comments, right? Same in our relationships. So I learned how to earn and create that moment. And not just with skills. And this is the things that we'll be sharing at the workshop on our sacred relationship. It's not just getting the skill, but the mindset. How do you create a state of belief, of self-worth, that you can create a sacred, what does that mean? And everybody has a unique, and I'd love to hear yours as well. But sacred meaning, how do you have mutual respect and reverence and hold it in high esteem, right? How do you create that state? So that's that. From there, I'm like, I gotta help people. Everything shut down. COVID shut down. I was like, wait. So again, I've attached my self-worth and my value in the world to the studio systems. I'm like, wait, why am I sitting here when there's so many people struggling?
Yes.
I'm like, no,
yes, I love that.
This gift, use this. I got certified with Jay Shetty. So he's my mentor coach. We still work together. But so I was like, okay. And I was able to help people around the world, which is a huge blessing. And I could go on and on, but I'll share this quick story with you.
Yeah, please. Please.
Because I was at a wedding less than a week ago. I can't remember December 19th, I think. Or wait, maybe 17th. Anyway, it was a beautiful wedding, right? She's Argentinian, he's Jewish. And you saw their families just come together in this beautiful ceremony, which for those of you who are out there married, we've all had this moment, right? Where our relationship is sacred.
Yes.
I'd love to hear your perspective on this too. We couldn't be more in love. We couldn't be crying more when she's coming up the aisle and you see you go, wow. And I'm watching this. And I know, yes, statistically, 50-50 chance that your marriage may work. And I'm going to go 51% because I'm an optimist, right?
Yes, so, I'm right there with you.
I know what the stats are, but there's something divine that I believe you can make it work. I do. And that's what we're here to also help people with. But anyway, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this beautiful, magical moment that we create in our lives, for those of you who are married, or even if you're in a relationship, that moment you met them, you've cultivated, you created a loving connection. And as time and life goes on, where did that go?
Yes.
And we're yelling at each other, and we resent each other, and we get embittered, and we, of course, sometimes don't have the skill set or the tools or the ability to save and create a sacred relationship. So I was like, and they'll just, and I'm always like, they're going to last forever, as everybody believes that, and they will, I'm sure, I have no doubt.
Yes, of course.
But I want to help people and work collaborating with you, and that's why, because we share similar experiences for for people we work with, but at beautifully different approaches. And so I want also people, thank you so much, Priyanka. I love working with you. You're making leaps and bounds as well. So, but that is a bit of the journey, but even which takes me to this moment, when we work, for those of you who don't know, we'll have a meeting after this on crafting, our experience. So I want people to bring your soul, bring your spirit. If you really want to create a healthier, happy, more connected, more meaningful relationship, a more purposeful relationship within yourself and another, please come or explore more. And Adora's doing discovery calls. I'm doing discovery calls.
Absolutely.
So we're here for you.
We would love to have you join us because it's going to be such a richly immersive and experiential program for the day of not only delving into ourselves to understand, hey, why does this pattern keep showing up in my relationship? Right? Because we know how good it feels in the beginning. And then we go into our day-to-day life and then start to get irritated about the dishes
Right.
or the laundry or like these aspects of mundane life. And yet when we can come back to a deeper honoring of ourselves and that sacred relationship, right? Because all relationship in our lives is modeled from the relationship we have with ourselves. And if we don't honor, respect, love, care, have compassion and forgiveness for ourselves, how can we expect to have it in our deepest relationships? But one of the things, Sean, that struck me and I love about your story as you're sharing about this experience in your career, and in particular, this mindset that you accessed for this audition of The Billionaire. And this is one of the, from my perspective as an intuitive, I see as this incredible gift that you have of being able to access mindset from a laser focus and intertwine creativity and passion and soul purpose with that. And then what do you have? You have that winning, that kind of secret sauce or formula for success in life. And I think that this is such an important aspect of your work that that so many of our attendees are going to identify with an aspect of the story, because we all have a story of the past. We've all been hurt, betrayed, right? We've all experienced some degree of challenge or adversity, and yet our resilience is marked by our ability to learn from it, make new choices, and then rise, right, to our infinite potential, rise to the capacity of what it means to be in a deep communion with another soul. And of course, there are aspects of our personalities that kind of come together. And yet, when we learn deeper ways of conscious communication, of listening, and understanding our own trigger points, then we can meet at a much different level with our partner, with an open heart, and that receptivity that continues to evolve doesn't have to dissipate after a year or 2 years, 5 years, 10, 20 or more, because it can deepen, because we can always deepen our experience and understanding of who we are and what it means to be in loving, harmonious communion with another individual. And I can't wait to share this with everyone that's going to join us this January in Malibu.
Yes, so well said. It's so true. I think that's the thing, because we do hit that relationship crossroad. Or even the challenges, the day in and day out, the towels on the floor, you didn't do the dishes are in the sink, or why are you your feet up in the thing? Why aren't you cleaning? And why aren't you, and of course that builds up over time. And that's where, part of the thing, one of the bigger lessons that I learned from me was my inability to communicate what was in my heart. That's the part. And we sit here and we're like, oh my God, if I could just tell this person to just, but we don't have clarity. And even when we do, we may have an outburst like, oh my God, please stop leaving the wet towels on the floor, or whatever it is, right? It's benign as that. And it turns into, and then of course accumulates, right? But the ability to have, and this is one of the things that we will be sharing while we're there, is how do you get clarity? And you said this, a very conscientious person on your own thoughts and own feelings. Because if you're not clear on that, and we're in a relationship and you're articulate, you're trying to tell me something, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. You're just mad. All I'm hearing is like you're yelling, or I'm yelling, and not, as anybody will tell you, nothing productive comes out of that.
That's true.
And so you also need to understand when your time is, and perhaps when their time is as well. But how does one get clarity on what's in their heart? And then how do they articulate that? With absolutely, with beauty and compassion. And also, this is the third part that many people don't think about when they're communicating something, is having a reverence, which is the sacred idea, and respect for what someone else is going through. We're just like, I want to be heard, you need to hear me, you need to feel me, you want to be seen. Like, I want to be seen, and that happens, right? And then you just put someone on blast, and they're like, I'm sorry, I was doing something else. I don't even know. You're trying to catch up, and of course they'll just lash out because they're not clear about how to communicate with you in that mutual respect. And that is one of the things that because it's been such a valuable and costly lesson for me, it's not being able to have clarity on what I feel and then articulate that to my loved ones. Right?
It's so powerful when we can have that emotional clarity and disengage from the blaming, because we know that nobody wins in the blame game.
No.
There is no winner ever.
No.
Right.
No.
And so one of my sweet spots in working with people over the past 25 years is going in to look at the pattern and bring a place of understanding to it, because we can't shift something. We can't let it go until we can understand it. And that is when we're able to say, well, this has actually been a teacher and a gift in my life, and I can grow from this, and I can make a different choice and a different emotional connection in the future. And I think that's going to be such a wonderful gift that we are giving our attendees, to be able to say, here, when you leave here at the end of this program, you're going to have the gift of not only understanding about yourself, but the ability to connect, communicate, commune, open, with so much more depth and understanding. And I think, the compassion that we bring not only to ourselves, but to our loved ones in relationship is an incredible game changer for us to have that more intimate connection. And intimacy, it can really be just hey, I'm speaking to you from my heart, from a place of deep vulnerability, and it's uncomfortable and it's scary, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I know that from this, we're going to grow more deeply together.
Yeah. And you're really good at that. I know. Talk a little bit about how, because we will in that early morning talk about the patterns that we get in the way that we relate, and where did we get these cues from? Of course, our parents and the playground and whatever. But first of all, how do we identify start to identify those patterns?
Yes.
And of course, we'll get in depth at the retreat. But how do you start to identify those patterns so you can begin that transformation?
Well, I think we always begin in the present moment. The present moment is the gateway to all possibility and transformation. And when we start to look at things like our love language, like our attachment style, then we can delve deeper into the past to understand some of these elements of soul psychology and what beliefs and patterns were imprinted within us from our early childhood dynamics during those key developmental stages, right? And when we are young, we witness our parents or primary caregivers in the way that they communicate, in the way that they show love, in the way that they stay together or don't. And all of the undercurrents of their relationship are imprinted within our cellular consciousness. And then we grow up and we start to have relationships and like, well, gee, why does this seem similar? Why do I have these similar thoughts and emotional patterns and thought patterns? Well, not only do we have the lineage or DNA connection, but we have the environmental imprinting. But the good news is that the past does not have to dictate our future. Once we can understand it and look at some of those nuances of how we connect in our current life, we can bring our awareness, our love, our compassion, our forgiveness. We'll be working within the group setting at the retreat with essential oils and a modality that I created called aromatic neurorepatterning, because when you have a pure essential oil and in the right formulation and you use it via inhalation, the connection with the brain is so powerful that we can literally repattern our neural pathways for new experiences and expectations of love and connection. And how empowering is that, right? As an idea, but as a practice, it is a complete game changer for our lives.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. I really, really am.
Yeah.
Because it matches spirituality and science, right? It is that, right? Those neural pathways, and we're learning more and more about how the brain works and how we can create new neural pathways. We don't have to be stuck with the old
Yes.
patterns, right? Which
I love that.
we get from, as you said, we get from our caregivers and our parents, and we continue that. I'm a big proponent of breaking that chain, that cycle, especially if it's a negative one, right?
Yes.
And, or by the way, having compassion for our parents who was just trying to do, or our caregivers who were trying to do the best they could. Right?
Absolutely.
And you now have an opportunity to create a change and break that chain, or let it evolve into something deeper, which we are all going to this higher consciousness. We all want more in our life. We feel there's more in our life. We feel there's more in our relationships. We're just not clear on how we can create that. And that's why I'm so excited to be doing these retreats with you. I cannot wait. I will give you the final word here, and then we'll sign off for today. And we'll be back, just so everybody knows, we're going to be doing these every week up until January 28th. Yes. And I'm sure we got more up our sleeve anyway, so you won't, there'll be continued to talk, but I would love for you to share some final thoughts.
Well, I think in this moment when we're going into the holidays and we are pulled in so many different directions, that having a simple practice of positive intention for deepening the sacred communion, sacred relationship with ourselves first and foremost is something that we can do in each and every moment, right? Even if we take a breath right now in this moment and say, in my beautiful heart, I feel and receive my love, right? This didn't take more than a moment, but it can completely change your feeling, your emotional and mental outlook, the way that you engage with others, and the way that you make decisions for the rest of your day and the next day and the next day. So that is my offering, and happy holidays to all of you. For more information, to register, please visit thesoulinstitute.co, and right on there you'll see a beautiful banner on the Sacred Relationship Retreat Program. You can click on that and sign up for you and your loved one, and share this wonderful message with all of your loved ones that you know could benefit from an immersive program of empowerment like this. Thank you so much, Sean.
Oh, well said. Yes, share. Please share this, because it is the holiday season and we are preparing ourselves to create something new for 2023. And we don't need to wait till January 21st to begin that journey. And that one small, simple breath of love that you just said. And like people, I can't do it. I can't do it. That, like you said, took 30 seconds, maybe 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But the habit, the practice of that, just 15 seconds, right? So I want to wish everyone happy holidays. I know there's a big, huge storm coming across North America. So, and flights are going to be canceled and things aren't going to go as planned. I want to remind you to stay calm and kind and compassionate. And don't just stay that, be that. Be kindness, be calmness, be compassionate. Because you are the creator of your holiday travel. You really are. Yes, things are not going to go as planned, like life. But wow, be the living example of those virtues, of goodness, of greatness. And that is one beautiful way you can contribute to making yourself, your life, and the world a better place. It'll be a good test. The holiday will be a very, very good test. So, Kelly, yes, make your mess a message. I saw that. That's beautiful.
I love that.
Gorgeous.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you for showing up. Tell your friends next week. We'll be doing this again next week. Invite as many loved ones, friends, family members. Share the word, because we will be doing this every week through up to our Sacred Relationship on January 28th. But we appreciate each and every one of you showing up, sharing your kindness, sharing your love and your spirit. And we will see you next week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Ciao for now.
Bye.